right, welcome back to the Built to Grow podcast. I'm your host, Timothy Lyons Jr., joined by Randy Angston. What's up, man?
It's Randall
Von Angston.
Remember all the nicknames for those listeners listening way back when?
Oh, that's right. That was the hardest part.
It was probably 150 episodes. You gave me a different nickname every time.
I know. And then our podcast guys would do in all the names. the destroyer of whatever.
They were fun. That was fun.
Anyways, that was back in the old school listeners are like, yeah, I remember that.
Oh, yeah.
That was the coolest part.
That was the most difficult part about the podcast.
I know. Gosh. And I had a list going on, and I was like, did I repeat it?
Yeah.
If we had ChatGPT back then, we would have had limitless.
Man.
Dang. Maybe we should bring it back now that we got the tools.
It made the job easier. Look at that. A tool helping the business.
Yeah, absolutely. Because if you're not using AI, and I mean, I use it for all kinds of cool stuff.
All sorts of stuff.
Image creation. You know what? In my Grow Summit back in, when we do it, June.
Mm-hmm.
I used a couple images that I created with Midjourney, which was, I needed to kind of show like the Bourbon Trail meetings back in the day, and it created cool ones.
Yeah.
And I used them.
I love it.
There you go.
That's your tip to win before we get into the episode.
All right, that's it for this episode. No, just kidding. Real quick. Hey, we want to recognize some wins out there. Like we get into this gym business and we get wrapped up into the day-to-day, and then we're like, there comes a point in time, if you're not doing things proactively, intentionally, this will hit you one morning. You'll get out of bed and you'll be like in the shower getting ready to go to work, and you're like, don't want to get out of the shower. You're just like, I don't want to do this. This is not what I signed up for. This isn't what this is supposed to be like. And you find yourself resenting the business that you started. It happens to everybody.
Sure.
Unless you're super intentional and you're like a straight rocket. Like, I would tell you that ProFit was never that way. I could tell you that Pulse Fitness was. There was times like, what am I even doing right now? I'm working 7 days a week. I remember taking calls, because we would have the phones forwarded. I would be in the grocery store taking calls on a Sunday evening, taking my groceries, running out and meeting somebody at the gym to sign them up. Like, I remember doing all this stuff. And then you're like, what? Eventually you're like, what am I doing this for? And so the whole ethos of ProFit is we help gym owners win. What does that mean? What does that even look like for you as a gym owner? Is it more time, more money? Is it multiple locations? Is it selling your gym? Like, you decide what it is that you're going to win. Like, what does winning mean?
Yeah, to you.
And recently we've had a lot of our Iron Circle members and coaching clients come to us and give us praise or kudos or whatever for the things that they're doing. And on paper, it's not necessarily always financial in nature, where we made another, $50,000 this month because of what you said. It's other things. So let's talk about that.
Well, actually, before we even get into kind of like, they didn't bring the wins to me. They brought me the problem, and I had exposed the win for them in a way. And this is kind of the light I wanted to shine, is that it weren't necessarily problems, but they were situations that they didn't recognize the wins. And the important part is to look at where you are and be able to see the wins that you have on your plate so that you don't find yourself resenting your business, right? I'll lay it out there, right? For example, I had an Iron Circle member about let's just say 3 weeks ago. We jumped on a call. I hadn't seen his name come up in our chats, and he hadn't been, really close and engaged. And he's a buddy of ours, like real close. So I was like, hey, what's going on? Tell me what's up with, I know he's got some other things, some family things, kids going to school. Mm-hmm. So he was working on a number of things, but for his name not to be around, I just want to make sure everything was good. So I reached out to him, and we were talking about kind of the lay of the land, and this is now it was beginning of August, so we were talking about July and the numbers, and he was like, I'm just kind of a little down. And I was like, well, what's up? And he's like, this month has been a little tougher for us. And I gave him some comfort in the fact that across the board, the gyms that we were working with, July was a tougher month for most. You listeners probably agree. I mean, it wasn't specific to one or two gyms. It was across the board. It was just a harder month in fitness across the gyms that we worked with. So gave him some comfort there, right? It's not always Christmas. Not every month is going to be your biggest month. And he brought back, he's like, July we had a $9,000 delta. For those listeners that don't know what that means. It means
July or June?
For July.
Oh.
Excuse me, no, I apologize. For May, he had a $9,000 delta. And which means he had $9,000 in new business. Reoccurring compared to
the month prior.
April, right? So awesome month for growth. Well, then we were comparing July's numbers to that, and he said, I only hit $900 in new additional revenue in his delta for that month. And I was like, well, one, let's take comfort in the fact that we know everybody kind of felt a dip. So it's not just specific to you. Don't beat yourself up, right? Let's reframe your personal beliefs about the situation you're in. But then he mentions, he goes, I hadn't even been in my gym for 3 of the 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And I went, what? And he goes, yeah, we were traveling for, bringing the kid to school, doing a bunch of those things. And I was like, can we stop for a second? Can we talk about the situation that you're in? You, for the first time in owning your business, were not in the seat delivering the operation 3 out of the 4 weeks for this month. And while you were gone, your business still not only just existed, not only just survived, but you still brought in an additional $900 in additional new revenue compared to the month before. That's a growth month.
Plus, he's servicing the $9,000 from the prior month with his staff. So he brought on, and let's just say he's doing $500 a month memberships, right? So that's 18 new members.
How many gyms can you barely bring on 18 members, let alone add it to their current roster and still succeed
and service it without him being there? Yeah, so that's a huge one.
We're 2 months into it, and so as we had that conversation, I said, "Do you realize how big of a win this is?" We talk about revenue all the time. We talk about the numbers. We talk about the growth. There's no measurement for your time freedom. There's no measurement. I mean, I guess there is in other ways, but right, it's not reflected in the numbers of the business necessarily. I said, do you realize how big of a win that is for you as a business owner?
Right.
And when we looked at it through that lens, it was an entirely different conversation, right? Our mission to help gym owners win includes time freedom. It's not just financial freedom. It's not just the gross revenue for your gym. It's what does that gym equate for net profit? What does that net profit do for you as the owner and owner benefit? Mm-hmm. Is the business working for you as well? And when we looked at that situation, he went from kind of being down on himself, feeling like he kind of failed the month, to realizing, holy crap, like, you're right. I'm in an entirely different position than I was months prior. Yep. And so the realization was important. And that's kind of the premise that I wanted to get across for this episode, is not just what we're capable of doing, but like being able to look at your business and say, okay, this is giving me and providing me with wins that aren't just showing up on the P&L. And so that was huge. Beyond that, I had another client or another Iron Circle member that just yesterday messaged me that he came back from his first week out of the business entirely, no operational, no connection, completely just removed from the business, came back, and he was messaging me going in because he's shaking, right? He's like, new challenge, don't know how to kind of mitigate the fears of not being in the saddle. And I was like, hey man, this is new growth, new challenges, you're going to have some new results. And he came back from a week away, and he's got absolutely no fires to put out, and he's got 3 new members in 1 week. His team was able to pick up the ball, do what they were supposed to do, run with it, and win. That is huge for a business owner, right? Tim and I talk all the time. I mean, we could build you a 7-figure business, and you could be in it 50, 60, 70 hours a week. Build you a 7-figure business that you're not even part of the daily operations, but they're 2 different businesses. And when we preach our mission statement of helping gym owners win, ideally, we want you in that second seat. You have the option of going into your business every day and making your clients happy, shaking hands and kissing babies and, doing all of that type of thing. But when you have to show up, create, some form of revenue from your time traded to get that revenue earned, it's a different seat. And so getting gym owners into this seat absolutely our main goal, and we wanted to share some of those wins and the realization of it, because I guarantee some of you guys are sitting around in your business not realizing how big your opportunity has become, or how some of those wins in your business. Take a look and see what your business is providing for you that's not just showing up on a P&L. I know we had one other.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm going to dissect this one a little bit too, because there's plenty of gym owners right now. I don't need to leave my gym. I'm the best at this and all this stuff. Yeah, I mean, maybe you don't have to. Maybe you enjoy it, of course, but there's going to become a time where you want to go on a vacation.
Yeah.
You've got a family emergency. You've got to you're sick. I mean, you better have operations that can sustain without you there.
Yes.
And this is the hardest thing for business owners to do, is let go of control, because you're worried that the quality is going to dip and drop. And most likely it will, but it doesn't have to, right? Like if you don't train anybody and you just disappear, yeah, the whole thing could fall apart overnight. But if you're proactive and intentional with how you create your systems, your SOPs, your training, you're developing your staff, you can build a business that you don't need to be involved in unless you want to.
Exactly.
Because the point isn't to say, hey, you love what you're doing, let's get you out of that seat. We actually want you to continue to enjoy what you're doing, but at your own option.
Well,
right?
I mean, even that person in that position, you might love, a couple sessions a week or certain clients, or you want to do certain things, but then you might hate having to do other aspects of the business and the work, right? Get some of that stuff off the plate then. What it does is it's providing you with more opportunity to do the things you love. Mm-hmm. That's the win. Those are the biggest wins, and that's the thing you should be aiming for.
Yeah. You should be aiming for it even if you don't really care to do it today. You got to do this for some future proofing. You're insuring yourself from future issues, right?
You're building an actual business instead of being the business.
Yeah. I mean, we can go back to the cash flow quadrant and everything in another episode. But yeah, wins absolutely involve you being able to leave the operation and have the business sustain and grow without you being there, because that's the first test of true ownership. Mm-hmm. Because until you can do that and continue to do that, you're self-employed, you own a job, you have to be there, you're never going to be able to leave, and then you resent the business.
Yeah, or go back to our episode on your exit strategy, right? If you're still in that self-employed role, you're selling an entirely different business than a business owner is selling, right? You're selling somebody a job. It's an undesirable buy for the marketplace, as opposed to a standalone asset that somebody's purchasing with all of the cogs in place that run the operation, the people, the staff, the systems. That is desirable as hell. If you want your business if you want to be able to sell your business and get something of value for it, then you better damn well have those things and have a true standalone business. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you're finding the guy who wants to be you, and there's just not a lot of them.
No. Or unknowingly they buy that.
Yeah, true.
And that's happened too. So what were the other wins? I mean, obviously record months.
This year.
We've got this year?
When you were talking to, when you went over the numbers on the decade last week with the other Iron Circle member, Bill.
Oh, God, how can I forget Bill? Bill's our
buddy.
Bill was one of our coaching clients at the end of last year. Decided to do our program.
He started with our 8-week business accelerator.
And he's since joined Iron Circle as of last week. We had our decade in a day call, and we're going over his numbers. And with it, because we started running ads, so he kind of wrapped up the program right around January, mm-hmm. and then we just ran some ads for him as part of that deal. And we had our CLA in place and automation, and his sales process was locked in, and he had his new pricing structure. He had his semi-private locked. He had his coaching staff dialed in. And since January to now, we're 8 months later, he doubled his business. And this is not a new business. This is years and years, 10 years.
Yeah.
He just told me after joining the Iron Circle, he's going to Italy for 3 weeks with his wife. He, in the history of his gym, has never been able to leave for a vacation. Can you imagine? Right? Like that would be, and he'll never tell you he resigned. I guarantee there's mornings where he's waiting in the shower. He's like, man, I really don't have to go in today. And he's gonna take off. He's got all his processes in place. He's feeling very confident. I said, are you gonna turn that phone off? Are you gonna be available? He's like, I'm gonna check in once a week. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Check in.
Yeah.
check in.
Real rough. You're guiding the ship. You're not, you know, at the helm anymore.
And so when we were in Orlando as our last Iron Circle event, when we had Mike Michalowicz out, you know, that was the test. That's the pressure test of a true business owner, is to leave for 4 weeks and not be involved. Can you do it? Can the business run and operate, sustain? I asked everybody in the Iron Circle before he came out, before they hit, there was probably 2% that felt like they could. I bet you if we just 6-8 months later now, I bet it's probably half. And it's happening, right? Yeah, so like those are 3 Iron Circle members, right? And this is happening all the time. And so, yeah, what a great win. What a great feeling that you can just go move your daughter into across the country into college and spend, you know, 1 week a month now going and visiting her and making sure that's good, going to Italy with your wife, going to, you know, a culinary event, you know, and taking tours around the world, eating at amazing restaurants.
Michelin,
And the foundation was the gym. The foundation was a gym that's profitable, serves the business owner benefit, and runs on systems. Like, who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want that? Do you want that as a gym owner? Think about this for a second. The thing is, sometimes you don't even realize you can't do those things because you're just in the business. And I was talking to family member. I was talking to a family member about entrepreneurship and momentum and happy and sad and work isn't work and we can do this all the time because it's like we're just designed differently than the normal 9-to-5 employee. And she was like, yeah, I never thought of that, you know, XYZ and all these things. And so you as a gym owner, being an entrepreneur, working in your business doesn't necessarily always feel like the clock in, clock out. You live and breathe the business. You may not realize that you can't leave. You may not even be thinking about it. But now that you're listening to this, ask yourself this question. Can I leave the operations for a month without any contact or maybe checking in once a week or whatever it is? And will the business sustain and grow without me here? If the answer is no, just realize that you just can't do it. Like, what are you going to do about it then after that? If you need help with that, that's what we do.
That's the accelerator.
Business Accelerator. winninggym.com/grow. Quick plug for that. But like, let's be honest for a second. What we do as a coaching group at ProFit is not like anything else that's out there.
Not even close.
Not even close. You can go out into the gurus of the fitness industry and find marketing plays, high ticket coaching, a sales course, a marketing hook, a challenge program. You can go get all that crap if you want. Or you can design a business that serves you as the owner, allows you to run on systems, allows you to take that 4-week vacation or never go back to your gym again, to sell your business, to have everything locked and loaded, and you can do it the right way. I mean, honestly, you can patchwork all that crap together, and maybe it works this month and it won't work next month, or you can do it the way we do it and do it the right way and have a business that succeeds and not only makes you more money, pulls you from the operation so you don't need to be there and you're not locked to it. The reason that all these other gurus don't do what we do is because what we do is hard as fuck. It's hard as fuck, and I will tell you, it's a lot more work for us to do it this way. And we're passionate about it. I live it. I breathe it. I have a gym that doesn't need me, and it feels damn good.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I can go to my daughter's horse events for 2 weeks in Oklahoma. I'm going to the game in Orlando. I can go to the Palm Springs thing. I can go to the cabin.
I'm pretty sure we spent the last 5 of the last 7 weeks out of town.
Yeah, it runs itself. Now, granted, got a great team. But the great team didn't just show up one day and knock on the door. Hey, I'm ready to do the job. No, you have to develop that, and you have to have people you can trust, and you can have people that you pay well, and you have to do the right things for them, because they're taking care of the business in your absence. And that's cool, right? If you can find that. But if you can't just find that, you got to develop it.
And yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because I wanted to kind of lay out kind of like the view of that, right? Where every one of those gym members or gym owners that we just talked to, when they started with us in the coaching group, the challenge, the things that we were working on that they needed to develop for their business were appropriate for the Business Accelerator, right? Like that solved the problems of the business for the phase of business that they were in, for the seat in the arena that those gym owners were living, right? If we gave them the conversation that we have with our iron circle to that level, they would be in the same position because they couldn't utilize the benefit from that level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the knowledge and the conversation up there is too advanced. It's not going to work for the struggle that the gym owners are in that position at that level. Now, the business accelerator addressed the needs of the business to get them to a certain point, right? We took gyms from 12, 15, 18, 20,000. Every one of them crossed the $30,000 mark before we could even have the conversation about the Iron Circle per month. Reoccurring revenue per month. Now, once they're at that level, and this is a conversation I was having with one of them the other day, the challenges change. The things that you need to develop change. The areas that you need to invest in yourself, in your business, change. Point in case, Palm Springs, the entire weekend, the conversation we're having is about leadership. It's not about the front end offer in your gym. It's not about a new sales tactic or strategy or how to conduct the training or the things that create, the foundation of your business. Now it's about how do I develop myself as a better leader so that I can invest in my team and their skills and their abilities so that they can carry the torch and take it from this point forward. Mm-hmm. That's huge because we're not talking about the old stuff to the this level. We're not talking about the highest level tactics to the people that aren't there yet. The solution that we're providing is appropriate to the problems that are, those people are facing respectively.
Yep.
And that's the progression that every gym owner should have. You should be able to look at your business and say, okay, what are the needs of my business in order to move the needle today? Is it automation? Is it sales? Is it marketing? Is it the delivery of our product? Do we have the right service, for our consumer? All of those things. Those are coaching opportunities at that level. But once you reach a certain position and once a business is at that next level, now you need to change the things that you're working on. You need to change the things that you're investing in as a owner to develop yourself to the next level, because that managerial skill sets is where you're going to be able to continue the growth of the business from that point forward without you doing all of the work.
Yeah, and I'd be honest, I would say probably well over half, maybe even 75% of our Iron Circle members started in coaching. They started in Business Accelerator.
Yeah.
They worked through that process, got to a certain point, and then it made the next move is the Iron Circle, right? They wanted to be around. They wanted to be in that same group, new people, same leaders, right?
Yeah.
Different stuff.
Yep.
Different stuff. And I'm really focused on Iron Circle because, the needs of the Iron Circle is leadership, it's financial knowledge, and it's system, and its owner exit plans. Mm-hmm. Those are the kind of the things. Leadership everybody needs.
Absolutely.
I mean, I would argue, you probably need it at the Business Accelerator level too, but you can't even start being a leader until you have your other shit in order, right?
You're doing half the work still.
Yeah, right. So in order to be an amazing leader, and listen, I know it's weird to say, leadership for me is pretty natural. I was always the captain. I was always the leader of the teams I was on. But I understand it's not natural for everybody,
sure.
Right? And having teams and stuff like this outside of the business level, it's just a natural. But there's some very uncomfortable leaders out there. Just this doesn't feel right. I'm still one of them. I should be doing the work, and I can't give it up because then they're going to look at me like, how come I'm not here? I hear this all the time.
Absolutely.
If you're ever at a place where you can't leave the gym because you're worried that your employees are going to look at you and say well, how come he's not here working? You haven't done a good enough job as a leader.
Correct.
Your employees should want you gone.
Your boss.
But they shouldn't look at you as an equal either. They
mm-hmm.
shouldn't say, oh, this guy should be in here doing it in the trenches with me. Sure, it's cool if you get in there and do it, but a certain point in time, they should want you out of there because when you're gone, they can move into your spot and this whole path kind of happens. But if you ever feel resent from your employees because of that, you need leadership training because they should be on your team.
Well, and that brings up a good point too, because you naturally are in a leadership position by owning the business, whether you want to be or not, right? You're the pinnacle. You're steering the ship, right? You're the boss at that point. People are looking up to you for direction and whatever. If they don't feel like you're providing that path, if you're providing them with the opportunity for advancement or just even to develop their skill sets and what they do within those realms, that's the missing link, right? Being in the position is one thing, but being a good leader is an entirely different option. And you have to invest in your team in the right areas to develop those, allow them to ascend in your business and fulfill that next position when it becomes available, right? Your absence opens up those doors, and they should all have the ability to rise to the occasion. That's what's going to show good leadership.
Exactly. So lots to talk about. Listen, we just wanted to share some wins here. We wanted to explain, like, hey, getting out of your gym is pretty cool. It's a really good feeling, right? The financial stuff needs to be there and all that stuff needs to happen, but like you need to be able to leave, even if you don't want to or need to, but like the ability to is as important as any of this stuff. So if you need help with that, this is what, Business Accelerator, like I said, 75% of these owners coming into Iron Circle are past alumni of the Accelerator program. And like I said, it's not like other coaching programs that you're getting a one-off marketing trick whiz bang hook.
$150,000 guarantee? Come on.
There's crap out there, guys.
So much.
Listen, we're talking about ownership and stuff like this, but like at the profit level, I'm as self-employed as many as the gym owners because I'm delivering the product on a lot of the stuff. I'm doing the calls. It's fine, and I enjoy it. And I'm not looking to remove myself from that operation, but I'm just saying, like, you get me, you get you, right? We're not outsourcing. There's some VAs and some guys that we train, and we're not pushing you off to a gym owner that we coached in the past, and they're going to coach you.
That's a really good, because that question comes up a lot. Right,
I enjoy it. Like honestly, that 3-hour call yesterday with a gym owner. Like even though I'm a little removed from this operation, I can still check in. This is my way to understand like what the problems are facing today. Because if I'm not doing that, I'm never going to be able to relate to the current issues because the shit changes all the time, right? Anyways. Jump in that program, all in, what, $6,500?
Yeah, this is a program that many of those that we mentioned today had. Now, granted, we've changed the program, just the delivery, guys. You get the same exact information. You get 24-hour access to Tim, myself, and Zach over the 8 weeks. We've got all of the course content. The only thing that we've changed the entire time that we've run this Business Accelerator is how we're delivering the coaching to you. It's all living in a portal. You've got the entire same exact information. Now, granted, we've updated and things like that over the time, but that program was $15,000 at one point. Yep. Because we're not literally doing a coaching call, just sharing the same thing that's in the video to you, we've been able to find a price point as low as $6,500 for you guys to get into that arena. Jump on winninggym.com/grow. Let's have a call. Imagine your life. The gentlemen, the 3 individuals that we just talked about, all started there. At some point, every one of those gym owners was under $25,000 per month in reoccurring revenue. Now they're all well over 30. Hell, 2 of them I think are over 70 or 80. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, going from 25 to 30 ain't anything to talk about. We're talking like doubling your business.
Yeah.
None of they were all under 30, and now they're in the 50s, 60s, 70s.
Exactly.
Some are 80s, yes.
Definitely. And we're talking a year, not even a year's time. Yeah. Think of just put yourself, like literally look at your business today, look at what you're taking home, look at the potential of what twice that would do for you in your life. If that is worth $6,500, it's your obligation to get on a call with me. We have the path, guys. Mm-hmm. It's the action that follows. Let's jump on a call. Let's build this business. Let's put you in the business owner role. And then let's have the conversation about the Iron Circle and see where you could take it from that point. Because that's our ascension model. That's what we'll build in your business. It's one of the things we coach for you. But we put it all on the table. We give you 100% access to the 3 of us throughout 8 weeks. There's no question that we've ever faced that we didn't know a solution for. This is what we love to do. And it's honestly, the more opportunity we have to work with you guys, the more happy we are. So
Awesome. Yep. Hopefully that helps. Get your mind running on a different level. And that's it for this episode, guys. Until next show, keep changing lives. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.
All right, and thank you for listening to that episode of the Built to Grow podcast, where we help gym owners win. Now, do you want to connect with me and other gym owners online? All you need to do is join our private Facebook group, Business Talk with Fitness Professionals. Just head on over to Facebook and type in Business Talk with Fitness Professionals, and when you do, we're going to give you our 10 marketing strategies 7-figure gym owners use to win. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Until then, keep building something great.